Without not exactly the weekend you're after, how are you guys feeling?
We're obviously disappointed. I think that's the overriding feeling with how the games have been going at the moment. We're disappointed we're not winning. We're seeing some growth in some of the things we're going after, and we saw that in sort of quarter one and quarter three on the weekend, but our inability to play 4 quarters at the moment's probably the thing that's disappointed us the most, and that's what we're trying to work on during the week and go after.
How do you guys stay mentally strong in these sort of patches of games?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, when you're out there, it can be quite tough at times when teams concede, when we concede 4 or 5 goals. But it's about sort of getting out of your own head and thinking about how you can support your teammates, how you can support the situation of the game. And obviously with a lot of our senior leaders not out there at the moment, I think guys like myself and Jake Waterman and those sort of guys have to step up, and that's what we're trying to do. And we saw Liam Duggan do it really well on the weekend, obviously as a stand-in skipper. Oscar Allen's been doing it really well across the year, so it's probably on that middle tier age guys to start stepping up and playing their role. Quarter
2 and quarter 3 were really bad and then kind of good. When you look at the game and it's taking you 3 quarters to kick into gear, at what point do you need to go, why aren't we starting from the first bounce? Because you can do it. Yeah. I think the first quarter, we were down by a goal maybe at quarter time. So I think the last 4 or 5 weeks we've sort of been in the game at quarter time. It's probably been that second quarter that's let us down a little bit. So that's the frustrating part for us and our supporters and our coaches and everyone. And momentum at the moment within football, it's really hard to stop. The 6-6-6 rule makes it quite tough to either put numbers behind the ball or change a lot. And you'll see across the competition in multiple games, there's run-ons. It's how do we stop it from being 3 or 4 goals, which happens to a lot of teams, and it happens in every game, to being 7 or 8. So if we can cut it at that 3 or 4 goals, it'll make a huge difference. And at half time on the weekend, Gold Coast might have won the second quarter, but we might have gone in 2 or 3 goals down, and you're in the game. You come out at the start of the third quarter, kick 2 goals, and you put pressure back on them. But unfortunately, we're just falling behind the 8 ball a little bit, and then we're not putting enough pressure on the opposition, and they can sort of play the way they want to play. So what do you do?
It's a great question. We're working on a few things during the week at the moment, a few different mechanisms around how we deal with momentum. So there'll be a few structural things that we'll go to. I can't give you those, unfortunately, but there's a few of those things. The coaches are going really hard on education. We've got quite a young group at the moment, so how do we educate guys when things get difficult to be able to perform their role under pressure? How do we get them to be able to make decisions based on the game situation? So they're probably the 2 things: momentum and game education and awareness.
You've got 3 young guys potentially coming back in, Long, Chester and Hewitt. How exciting is it to have them come back in, given that your veterans are still a few weeks away? Yeah,
all 3 of them have shown really exciting glimpses so far this year. I think that's something that our supporters can be really excited about. Obviously we haven't had the wins we've wanted on the board just yet, but we've seen some really good signs from guys like Jimby and Hewitt when he came in. I think Noah Long's been really exciting, and then and Chester, as you mentioned. So yeah, hopefully this week, I'm not sure, I haven't seen the team, they haven't had match committee yet, and they're coming off sort of medium-term injuries, so I'm not sure if they'll all be back out there or not, but it'll be really exciting to get them back in over the next sort of fortnight and playing footy.
Tim Kelly, he's missed 2 sessions this week. Do you know if he's unwell or injured? Or?
I think it's a family thing, but he'll play this week, yeah.
Unfortunately, losing Jack Darling added to the injury list. What was it like to see him kind of battling out there, and then to hear the news that he won't play for about a month?
Yeah, I think Jack, I feel for him because he's been under a lot of pressure externally. Internally, we've supported him and got around him, and we still value what he's sort of bringing to the table. He creates a contest. He has really good leadership for our younger forwards, as I talked about. So he's brought a lot to the table still, although he's not kicking the goals that he would like. But I think what he showed on the weekend is the desire to win and play for this footy club. He had a broken arm and he stayed out there for over a quarter. So I think that shows great courage and resilience, really good leadership to our younger players, and it shows everyone how committed he is to trying to play good footy for this footy club. And yeah, it was really disappointing when we got the news that he was going to miss the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it might be. But yeah, we'll wrap our arms around him and support him, and we're looking forward to getting him back whenever he's available.
Have you seen him at the club in the last few days?
No, I haven't. No.
Simo mentioned last week getting some of these blokes like Liam Duggan and Oscar Allen and Tom Barrass, getting them those leadership roles, maybe captaining the team every so often. Are you keen, to sort of put your hand up, take on more of a leadership role during this time?
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to be captaining the footy club, but I'll look to play my part a little bit more. I've played a fair bit more footy than some of the guys out there at the moment. 24 now, so it's my time to step up and start leading during the week and during games, and I feel like I've been able to do that over the last month or so with some of the older guys out, but I'm not perfect, and it's something I'm still working really hard on, and I've got some really good role models in Luke Shuey and Jeremy McGovern and Shannon Hearn, who aren't playing, that I've been able to learn off over the years, and then someone like Liam Duggan's doing a really good job on game day at the moment, as well as Tom Barrass, Oscar Allen, these guys. So yeah, I think for me it's not changing too much. It's just continuing to be myself, play my role as well as I can, and then structurally help guys out wherever I can.
And how do you feel your own form's going at the moment? Seem to be getting a fair bit of the footy this past month. How do you feel you're progressing throughout the year? Yeah,
I feel like I'm going okay. I'm just looking to go out each week, play my role. I know it's quite a boring answer, but yeah, we've been under the pump down back a little bit over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. But yeah, there's plenty of room for improvement for myself, and that's what I'm going after. So I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, and that's what I'll be continuing to strive for over the next few weeks.
How did you enjoy playing Friday night game?
Yeah, it was nice. It was good to get Friday night footy. I'm not sure we'll have too many of them left this year, but it's always great to play on a Friday night and have our fans turn out. They've been really good this year and amazing to keep turning up and supporting us. And you heard at the start of that third quarter when we kicked a couple goals in a row, just heard them getting behind us, and they're a massive reason for probably why we're able to play such a good third quarter. So we're really grateful to them, and yeah, it's always a great privilege to play at Optus on a Friday night.
And no Sheeta this morning at training. Is there any reason he wasn't around?
Sorry, who's that?
No Sheeta?
No, he's all good. Yeah, he had something he had to do. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, like, the momentum swings in these games. How much of, at the beginning of each week, looking at, those times when the opposition get on a run, but also looking at areas like, say the first quarter Friday night, the second half against Port, third quarter against the Cats, sort of those areas where you do play, do get on top of the opposition at times? Yeah,
that's a really important point. That's what our coaches are trying to drum into us at the moment. Obviously, there's the areas that we aren't playing well, and we're addressing them, and we're going hard after them, and we're looking to improve. But we're also really excited about the passages of play and the quarters and the halves that we are playing really well, and we're seeing some really good evidence in what we're going after. And our game style's probably shifted a little bit over the last 12 to 18 months, and I feel like our fans see when we do it well, and they're excited by that, and we're excited by it. So that's what we're going to keep going after. We're not going to deviate. We're looking to improve every week, and hopefully, as we look to play this game plan for longer, we'll get better at it, and the younger players will grow up playing this way, and they'll play it for hopefully a number of years to come at a really high level.
Do you take any offence of people calling this game the Harley Reid clash?
I mean, people are entitled to their opinion, but we're trying to win every week, and that hasn't changed. And the messaging from Simo and the coaching staff has been that we're going to turn up, try and get the 4 points. So there's probably 13, 14 games left, and we're trying to win each one of them. So I feel like the Harley Reid clash at round 10 is a bit premature, but I can understand why people might be saying that, but it's not in our thinking at all.
I know you say you go into every game to win, but this is one that's a really winnable game for you guys. Obviously, in Tasmania makes it a bit harder.
Yep.
But how do you approach this game different to other ones?
It's probably pretty similar, actually. Like, as you say, it's a winnable game, but we feel like every game's winnable, because if you know, you've seen across the competition, if a team's 2% off, they can lose, or a team's, you know, 5% better than what they were the week before, they can win. So I think it's the same as any other week. We're trying to nail our processes during the week, plan really well, recover well from the weekend, and then, yeah, train really well on Thursday, and that'll give us a great opportunity to go out there against Hawthorn. And they've played some really good footy over the last month. I think they've pushed some really good sides, so we're really excited about the challenge of playing them, and they play pretty well in Tassie traditionally as well.
They've also played some bad football, so does that sort of open up an opportunity where you guys aren't at the standard you want to be to really give it a go?
Yeah, well, as I said, we're going down there with the hope and the expectation of winning this game of footy, so we're really excited about that, and yeah, can't wait for the challenge, because they're obviously a really respectable football club, and we're looking forward to playing against them.
What are some of the strengths that you identify from the Hawks?
They've got a number of really good inside mids. They've got Newcomb and Warpool, and their rucks are pretty dangerous when they get on top as well. Their captain in Sicily's having a great year. They look like a really fit team that transitions extremely well. So being able to match them in the work rate side of things, and then they've got some dangerous forwards that have been around for a long time, like your Brusts and Wingards, and Mitch Lewis has really come on. So they've got a lot of weapons, and we're really aware of that.
Excited to travel to Tassie as a group?
Looking forward to it. It should be nice and cold, so we'll pack the puffer jackets, and yeah, it should be nice. It's always nice to get down to Tassie.